Students, now after having a detailed discussion on the types of motivation, now we are coming to the practical part. Here we are going to look at the steps of motivation process. Students, motivation is a process. It is wrong, not wrong, it is wrong to say that it is not a process. It is a process consisting of minimum 4 steps. Many more have come up now, but these are the 4 specific ones which we need to understand regarding the deficiency, regarding the direction, regarding the fulfilling, and regarding the reduction in drives. How? First step is the need. I will explain these one by one. Let me just tell you that what are different kinds of parts of process which are to be taken into consideration. You can think of the need and you can think of the deficiency. When there is a deficiency, there is a need, friends. When there is a direction, there is a drive. When there is a fulfilling, there is a goal. And also, there is a reduction. When there is a reduction, there is satisfaction. When there is a reduction in drives, there is a satisfaction. Students, now I will tell you all these steps of process of motivation in a nutshell. Need, for example. What is need? If I ask, I tell you it is a deficiency. Needs are created whenever there is a physiological or psychological imbalance in the organization. It's a drive. You know what is drive? Drive is deficiency with direction. They enhance the goal accomplishment through actions. And also, goals are generally interpreted as incentives. And anything that will alleviate a need to reduce a drive is called as an incentive. This is about the goals. Friends, one important thing that I think I must tell you before I go to the next aspect of the motivation process. The goal achievement, friends, requires a clear direction. And the direction enhances the level and quality of output. The individual drives the ultimate satisfaction only if the goals are achieved. Now, students, we are going to have a look at the nature or characteristics of motivation. We find that there are a number of points that we can take into account for the purpose of knowledge of the characteristics of motivation in business world. For example, the characteristics consist of a number of things like energetic force, an internal feeling, intervening variable, work-related behavior, positive or negative, equilibrium, and also the complex process. Students, now I will quickly throw some light on these items one by one. You can see one thing here before we go to the characteristics one by one. One thing I want to tell you in this process, that is, students, motivation is the fuel. Motivation is the fuel necessary to keep the human engine running. Motivation is not permanent. Neither is bathing or the top. It is said by Zig Ziglar. You can see the picture. Whom you see there in the picture? Whom you see in the mirror? Lion. Who is watching the mirror is the cat. It is the motivation that changes the perception and feelings of the people. Motivation is that fuel which is necessary to keep human engine running and feel important. First of all, first basic feature of motivation is the momentum. Motivation is a momentum for doing something which may originate within or beyond an individual. It is an urge to accomplish a task. And also, it is not wrong to say that motivation is an inner state that energizes, activates, or moves and directs the channel's behavior towards the goals. That is, it is a kind of internal feeling. Students, we also can say one more thing about it, that is, motivation is an internal psychological process which is not directly observable and which account for behavior from behavior. It cannot be seen, but it can be inferred from the behavior. That's why we call it as intervening variable. Apart from being energetic force, being an energetic feeling, and being an intervening variable, there are several other things to take into account, which are about the work-related behavior. Students, motivation directs behavior towards same goal, same work, or same action. It creates human behavior to perform. It creates work environment on the part of individuals. Motivation and the negative motivation. Positive motivation is based on rewards, praise, pride, participation, and growth. On the contrary, the negative motivation is based on force of fear and punishment. But of course, it is also a kind of motivation. Whether positive or negative, in both ways, it is considered as motivation. Apart from being or having work-related behavior and positive, negative aspects, equilibrium is very important thing to take into account here, students. Because the motivation cannot happen without equilibrium. Now you can ask one thing, that what is equilibrium? I want to tell you here that according to Chester Bernard, motivation is the form that is called inducement contribution theory. It motivates workers and organizations to find out what payouts, inducements to the workers in exchange of what degree of cooperation, contributions from the workers will be satisfactory. Will be satisfactory to both the parties. In this way, students, again, I want to tell you that motivation cannot happen without this equilibrium. It is lastly, this is evident from a number of reasons, that it's a complex process. Students, motivation is hypothetical construct as it is not seen. No one can see the motivation. You cannot touch it. You can only feel it. Motivation is an individual phenomenon, aware of their desires. Human are not consciously aware of their desire. People have different ways to satisfy their needs. After discussing the various types of motivation, we are coming to the next stage, and here we want to prove that motivation is very important. I want to tell you, first of all, that it is the motivation that puts human resources into an action. It is the motivation where we find the maximum utilization of human resources by building willingness to accomplish the organizational goals. Students, when it comes to the increase in productivity, when it comes to reducing the cost of operations, and when you talk about improving the overall efficiency, you find the role of motivation, which improves the level of efficiency of employees. The efficiency level of employees are improved. Why? Because of motivation, there is enhancement in their productivity. Productivity increases profitability. And the benefits of increased profitability may be shared by the organization with the customers, with the employees, with the government, all. How come it is shared with the employees? It can be shared with the employees in the form of higher pay packages. In case of motivation, you will find that by all the efforts, the cost of production will be decreased, and the benefit of the decreased cost will be transferred to the to the customers in the form of the lower prices. The government will also have huge collection of taxes, and then things will become worthwhile in organization. Apart from improving the level of efficiency of the employees, students, the motivation leads to achievement of organizational goals. It is not wrong to say that there is a best possible utilization of the resources. There is a cooperative work environment. The employees are goal directed and they act in a purposive way than before. All this is possible because it is the motivation that leads to accomplishment of the organizational goals in such a way that there is all-round prosperity. It can be seen easily that the improvements are being made in the system. Resources are being utilized properly. Apart from this, students, motivation builds friendly relationships. Because of motivation, you see there will be effective cooperation. Because of motivation, you will find that there will be interpersonal relationships becoming stronger in organization. People will be going hand in hand. There will be exchange of ideas. There will be exchange of views. And all this will be required to have stability in organization. So students, motivation leads to stability of workforce. Employees will remain loyal to the enterprise if motivation is there. Their level of commitment will go up. They will feel more contented and committed. What we are looking forward? We are always looking forward a high degree of commitment from the employee side. And you know what will happen? Because of this stability of workforce, because of this friendly relationship, one thing will become very clear, that there will be reduction in the labor turnover. Employee turnover will decrease. Employees will not be switching to jobs in other organization. Here the management will fulfill the genuine needs of the employees. They will not be shifting to other organizations for some reasons that they were not satisfied in the previous organization. So in this way, motivation helps the employees to achieve their personal goals. And it is very important to understand that if an individual is motivated, he will have a job satisfaction. When somebody is having job satisfaction, degree of his commitment will automatically increase, and he will be feeling more supportive, more goal oriented, will be merging his individual goals with the goals of organization. Motivation will help in self-development of individuals. An individual would always gain by working with a dynamic team. The dejection part, dissatisfaction will go away from his working style. He will feel more contented, more committed, and more honest in his work. Well, students, until now we were discussing the conceptual aspects relating to the motivation. Motivation is an important initiative on the part of the employers to keep their workforce contented and committed. On the basis of this logic, that the conflict and cooperation go hand in hand. Little conflict may result into existence of cooperative system in the organization. Employees and employers will have a kind of divergent view against each other. So that was all about the basic conceptual framework of the motivation. Students, now we are going to become more specific. We are going to see how early theories of motivation have played a significant role in day-to-day affairs of the organization. Students, there are plenty of theories, but we are going to discuss only the selective theories of motivation.